Muslim families tend to start the daughters wearing hijab at an age where it doesn't really matter because you're just a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet they complain about sexualizing, non-Muslim sexualizing women. But isn't the hijab, do you think that the hijab is a sort of sexualizing of a woman as well, or like a young child even?
I feel that for me, that they shouldn't be, this practice should not be coming into place when a child is still young, because they have yet to understand why they have to wear this. Sometimes the tactic is that, oh, you should wear this, otherwise you might go to hell. This sort of words.
Yeah.
It's not really great for children to hear,
Yeah.
Like, especially coming to the age of puberty, then I would suppose this would be more in terms of like the Malaysian side of things, because in normal schools, they are allowed to wear hijab. But then in Singapore, because Singapore is a secular country, they don't allow this.
Really?
Like they don't allow. There was like a case, like I think in the 90s or something, or early 2000s, where a Muslim family wanted their kid to wear the hijab to school, but then the school was like, no, you can't, because it's not, it's not permitted, So there was like a big hoo-ha about it, but then eventually it kind of died away. So even still now, like, you're not allowed to wear hijab in school.
For young kids, you mean, like, but not like teenagers could wear?
No. Even in teenagers, for example, 6 to 12, and then secondary school is 13 till 16 or 17. So in this case, you're a teenager. After puberty, you're not allowed to wear. Only after, for example, if you go into junior college, then you still have to like follow the school rules because they have uniforms essentially. Only if you go to, for example, after your secondary school education, if you go to polytechnic, then from there, everyone wears whatever they want. You can wear the hijab if you want to.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But if you go to junior college, then in that sense, you have to wear the uniform and not, be able to wear the hijab. Mm-hmm.
So how do Muslim families like reconcile that? So like in your case, for example, you left Islam. We didn't get to you leaving Islam yet, but you left Islam 3 years ago. So you're an adult now. But for people to understand the background and for me to understand the background, because my experiences in Canada are very different. Okay. So, but just for me to understand, especially, you didn't wear hijab to school, but you wore it at home. Like I don't get that.
Yeah. The way that it works, for example, is you don't wear the hijab when you're in school, but let's say you go home and then after that you want to go out, then you would have to wear it. Yeah. As long as you're not in school, you're not going to be wearing it because it's against the school rules, right?
So weird.
It's really weird, right? Because for me, I understand that you guys don't really have like uniform.
Yeah, well, they do have, like, my son goes to Catholic school and they have uniform, but they're allowed to wear hijab there.
Interesting.
I don't want to say for sure there's more Muslims in the Catholic school, but there's probably more Muslims. It's close. Either there's more Muslims or there's a very large number of Muslims compared to Christians in the school. The reason they go to Catholic school is we have there's some historical reason why, I don't know why, but as part of the secularism here, everyone's allowed to wear hijab even at school. That's considered like a personal choice. I'm kind of shocked to hear that in Singapore you can't wear hijab in school.
Yeah.
So the really religious Muslims must not send their kids to school then, because then they don't want their daughter going out without hijab, right?
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's why we have the madrasas.
Oh yeah.
And so in a way that kind of resolves the thing, but then also madrasas are actually quite expensive. So for me, like when I do meet someone who do go to madrasas, like, this person or this family must be quite well to do. Eventually I was just like, let's do an experiment on how I feel. I started to go out without the hijab on. This was a very difficult decision and very difficult, I would say, to execute this. To me, was really scary because, especially the first time, and I had a panic attack. And this was my first ever panic attack. After that, I never really gotten any. And when I went out without my hijab, what I would do is that I would go out with it because, maybe a family member is at home, so I just have to wear it when I go out. And then I would go to a nearby shopping center and go to the washroom, take it off and all. But I would always have like a hat with me just in case, just to if someone notices me or if I feel like someone's looking at me, I'll just look down. So in that sense, I didn't want to be caught. Like that fear of, I cannot be caught without my hijab on is so in your face that, you feel like, why
It's
do I
terrifying.
feel? Yeah, it's really terrifying.
Yeah.
And, it really makes you think like, why do I feel this way? So when I was thinking about this, like, why is it that I feel that my hair is a sin, like showing my skin is something wrong. And it's not like you're walking around in a bikini. Like, obviously, you're going to be like, people be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Even normal people will be like, what is going on? So in this sense, I was just like asking myself these questions, like, why do I feel this way when it's just my hair? Why do I feel so wrong about my body? Before I did the experiment, I was like, I didn't really question the idea of wearing a hijab. Like, why should we do this? Yeah, you should do this because you want to cover up your aura. Okay, yeah, sure, I'll take it. But then after I did the experiment, I understood that feeling of fear and, how being so uncomfortable without it made me feel. And then it made me try to, figure out like, why do I feel uncomfortable? So that's when, I kind of started to go deeper and deeper into questioning really my faith and the religion that I grew up in. So from there, there was this one time, like the first time I'm going out, I met my friend. She is a Muslim, but she doesn't really practice it. So like she's like, yeah, it's cool. Like it's not a problem. Like I don't find it a problem at all. So she really helped me when we were kind of like close to my workplace. And in my workplace, I wore the hijab. We were kind of like walking around that was close to my workplace. And I knew that if someone from the workplace kind of like knew or saw me without my hijab, they'll be like, talking about it. So for me, that fear of other people talking about it when I'm not ready is really scary. So at that time, I was in a convenience store near the workplace and I really had a hard time breathing. And I didn't know what was happening. Like, I was just like really, my heart was pounding, really sweating. And my friend was like, are you okay? Like, just breathe, okay? Like, really helping me out. Because I was having a panic attack. Only then I knew what it was.
So this just shows, like, this is how difficult it is to take off the hijab. It's not at all an easy thing at all. And I know my wife actually, even though, she's not from a Muslim family, but even for her, just with her friends, and it was very difficult. And she was still Muslim at the time. But it's tough to take off the hijab. So you were still Muslim at the time, and you were just thinking of not. So you were still Muslim, but you just wanted to kind of express yourself. You didn't feel like you wanted to wear the hijab anymore. And even as a Muslim, this was like incredibly tough.
Yeah, for me, that hijab, because for me, the hijab is an identity. And even before, like, me living Islam, like when I am looking at other Muslims, especially Muslim women, if they're wearing the hijab, I'm like, hey, we have a connection, something like this. So that's how. So this is the thing that I don't really like about the way that the dynamic is like. I would say in Singapore or in other countries, really, from what I've seen, is that if you're a Muslim woman who's wearing the hijab and you want to take it off because you don't really want to wear it anymore, personal reasons or reasons that, for example, maybe it's too hot, right? Like you don't really want to wear it anymore. Other Muslims who are either people who are wearing the hijab or people who are not wearing the hijab, men, sometimes even non-Muslims would be questioning it, like, why are you removing it? So in this sense, I don't really like that. Yeah. That identity, labeling this person like, oh, she's wearing it because she is, what is that word? She is supposed to be promoting Islam. And by the act of removing it, it seems like there's something wrong with Islam, right? When in quotes, there's something wrong in Islam. But they're
taking it as they're taking your hijab as a political statement, basically. Which is you're saying that it's not a political statement for many Muslim women. It's just a decision, a personal decision. Just like, for example, I mean, we can look at Muslim men. Some Muslim men, they stop praying. Some of them will grow their beard for religious reasons. Although the thing about the beard is it's easier as a man because a lot of non-Muslims have beards, but no non-Muslims wear hijab. So, unfortunately with the hijab, it's something that's unique to Muslim women that nobody else does. So when you take it off, suddenly everyone's like, oh, why is she doing that? Whereas with the beard, nobody cares if you shave your beard. As a Muslim, some people might care, but then there's also a lot of Muslims that don't have a beard. So it's more difficult as a Muslim woman to take that step.
Yeah. I would agree. And in terms of art, right, since we're talking about this, what I've noticed is that there's a lot of hypocrisy in terms of whether or not a person should be covering up. In a lot of regions, I would say, people will question, like, why is she not covering up? Or even for like a Muslim woman who's not even wearing the hijab, like if they're just wearing a t-shirt and pants, pretty normal. People will still ask, like, oh, why aren't you, wearing the hijab? Asking these questions. But for example, let's say a man who is walking around without his shirt, his belly showing. He's wearing, let's say he's wearing long pants, but his belly is showing. That's part of the aura for men. Yeah. And let's say that he's not, he's in the company of people that he shouldn't be doing that. People are not going to question him.
So you're saying there's a sort of double standard here where women are actually considered that, oh, you need to wear hijab, you need to dress like this, you can't wear like a t-shirt, you have to dress, but like a man can get away with showing his aura. Aura means basically the part of the body that you have to cover in Islam. For men, it's only between the knees and like the belly button or something. But for women, it's like the whole body, including the hands. Some people even say the face. I mean, although that's a minority opinion. But basically for women, it's much tougher.
Curse them because they are cursed by Allah Azza wa Jal, which is an indication that this is indeed a major sin. Therefore, whoever does such an act of exposing her awra, her beauty, in a fashion that would turn heads towards her, she's either committing a kabira, a major sin, or a woman who covers her body totally, only exposes her face, yet wears makeup. She is doing tabarruj, but her sin is not as severe as a woman who exposes her hair or wears revealing clothes or tight clothes, etc.
I want to thank the Abdullah Samir team for all your support. Those of you who aren't part of the team yet, click join now below to support normalizing dissent. Click the support link for more details. This is your friendly neighborhood ex-Muslim, Abdullah Samir, signing out.